Good evening, everybody. This is Monday night with Gravel Trap Legends. And with me this evening is Jason. Good evening, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Tim. Looking forward to this, the last race, the championship decider.
Yes, it's going to be very, very exciting, but we're going to have a quick chat about some things happening around Gravel Trap Legends first. Quickly, just going to have a look. There has been a little change of schedule for the next season. There's a future update coming for the prototypes. So there's a quick 5-round session coming in July for the Formula C, with the last one being a Formula retro at Kyalami. That's going to be a great little series. If you want to get involved, guys, get on to Gravel Trap Legends on Discord. I'll put a link up later in the feed for this in the chat for anyone who wants to get involved. Again, running on Wednesday nights for the shakedown, and a little short pro Monday night league in the Formula Juniors is going to be absolutely fantastic. I had a little run with these at Silverstone on the weekend and it was an absolute blast. But where are we this evening for round 6? We are at Interlagos, and it is one race, only a 55-minute race. So no double sprint this evening, and there is 50 points up for grabs. If Brett S finishes in the top 15, he will maintain his lead on the top of the leaderboard. But it is a very tight fight for Cuckoo, Kiz, Datboy, Esky and Brad Luck, all within enough points to strike to fight it out for the top 2nd and 3rd position. And again, Cuckoo's not going to go down easily this evening. He's going to be out there for all points. And the other screen that we've got for this evening is the target table. And this is the combined total of their fastest laps from each race. And again, Brett S on the top of this ladder, but he can't take out both titles. So if he wins the title this evening, that really opens up the target. Cuckoo, Travis and Scar all on 7 minutes and 39 seconds. Datboy, Kiz, No Frills, Esky all within a second of that as well. So there is a lot up for grabs over the fastest lap of this race. And there's also points up for that table as well. And I've now just lost my track map. Sorry about this, guys. I've added a few extra screens and it's getting a bit crazy. So this evening we're at Interlagos for round 6. The date is the 18th of June 2020. It's actually 2022. I've been corrected, not 2023. And Interlagos is officially known as the Autodromo Jorge Carlos. And it is 4.39 kilometres or 2.67 miles. There are 15 corners that make up this track. And it was inaugurated on the 12th of May in 1940. The circuit was built between 2 large lakes. The land was proposed as a development for a new housing reconstruction. It was proposed in 1926, and due to the Great Depression, the venture failed in 1929. And the first turf was turned in 1939 for the track. And the track was actually inspired by the famous Indianapolis circuit of the and other great famous circuits of the 1920s. And the circuit is known for its exceptionally long pit lane. It's actually the longest pit lane in the Formula One circuit. And this track has hosted almost every form of motorsport: 2 wheels, 4 wheels, and probably everything in between.
Also one of the few tracks that is anti-clockwise.
That is correct too. We are running the opposite direction that you would normally find for Brazilian circuits. And the cars are out on track at the moment with 15 minutes to go. And there has been much talk about what the weather is doing this evening. And everybody, it is going to be wet, wet, wet. The temperature is expected to remain mild with a top of 19 degrees. There was heavy rain overnight. It is currently slightly damp for qualifying, and it is expected to be heavy rain for the start of the race. The rain is expected to be easing towards light showers later in the afternoon. The wind's expected around 16 kilometres an hour, and the humidity expected to remain around 85%. So let's take a look at the guys out on track with 15 minutes to go in qualifying. It's all about finding the pace. The guys want to be out in front. Now, the difference this evening, one long race, 55 minutes, Jason, and it is also a mandatory pit stop for tyres. The question is, will the rain cease enough for the track to dry out? Or will we see the cars on wet tyres for the entire race?
Yeah, I think tyre strategy is going to play a big role tonight. With if the track dries up, that could almost be the championship decider if either one of them manages to get the tyre strategy right or wrong. Cuckoo does have a little bit of a points gap to make up, but I had a look at his stats before. He's actually finished in the top 5 in every race apart from 2, so he's actually been very consistent.
Max Powers jumped us in the broadcast this evening. Very excited to be here for the final round, and he said very disappointed to be putting this car to bed at the end of this race. And I think a lot of guys have surprised themselves for how much they have enjoyed driving the Formula Inters. And I, for one...
Let's see if we can find someone to do a lap with, Tim.
Yeah, let's actually jump on.
Actually, I'll see if I can find someone who's just about to start a lap. Here we go. We'll jump on board with that boy.
All right, I'm going to try and butcher the corner names for this track as best I can. So 4.36 kilometres coming down the inner main straight, hard on the brakes, down into second gear, coming around through turns 1 and 2, referred to as the centre S's. Little short shift up into third to try and get maximum traction through here. Through out of turn 3, Curva de Sol onto Reta Osposta.
What's the track conditions at the moment, Tim? It looks like there's already a little bit of water on the inside of a couple of these curbs here.
Yes, there was a heavy rain overnight, which is cleared. There was fog this morning, and the track is classified as damp. And the rain is expected to come in heavy again around midday, and the race is scheduled to start at 2 p.m. So coming down through turns 6 and 7, and then hard back on the brakes through here, back down to second gear, little short shift up into third to flow through turns 8 and turns 9. And then hard on the brakes again, back down into the tight right-hand hairpin, turn 10, which is Bico de Pardo. Through turn 11, Mugello. Back hard on the brakes down. Most guys will probably drop down to second gear here, maybe third in the wet. Through turns 12, and then flat out through the gears, turns 13, turn 14. And then coming through into turn 15 here at the entrance of the pit lane. And that's a lap of Interlagos. But surprisingly, Jason, I was talking about the elevation for this track, and the track has an elevation of close to 750 metres.
I just lost your audio then, Tim, when we went on the
Sorry
roof.
about that. That was me. I bumped my microphone. Apologise about that, guys.
Okay, that's fine. I thought it might have been a glitch with the game, but
no,
yeah, you suddenly disappeared.
That's me butchering the names all by myself.
Okay.
Yes, I got myself a brand new Hypercast microphone, and it's got an automatic dead. So if you bump the microphone, it actually goes completely silent.
Okay, were you talking us around the lap then?
I was.
Oh, you're not giving your secrets away anyway.
We can see a little bit of standing water sitting around. There was heavy rain overnight. That cleared to fog this morning, which is why we'll be seeing the track should be classified officially as damp at this stage.
Yeah, I notice there's a couple of spots on the inside of curbs where there's water, and also as they come through this next corner, there's some on the left-hand side. They'll avoid it. It's off the racing line, but it's definitely there.
And there will be basically that little bottom of the section coming through Magello turn 11. There's pretty well going to be a river running across the track there with the heavy rain expected for this race. And we can see
The
there
two championship contenders are in second and third there, so they're already making their mark. Guns. Oh, here we go. Bloody Nine's just lost it in front of us. As always, capturing all the action.
Just showing us how easy it is to lock up the rear of these tyres, the compression locked down into second gear. And Jason, apparently you had a little bit of trouble with a porta potty during the week, mate, out on the building site.
Yeah, I got stuck in one. How did you find out about that?
We have our sources.
Okay. Yeah, I was on a building site and I desperately needed the toilet, so there was some temporary fencing in front of it laying on the ground, and it was blocking the door from opening, so I had to stand on it to push it down to get in, and I didn't think about when I was in there it would then pop back up and block the door from opening. So I had a little bit of fun, and unfortunately the video's obviously made its way into other people's hands. I was hoping that one would stay a secret.
Yeah, no, it won't pop up in the stream, so you're safe there.
That's all right then. All right, I'm going to try and find out who the culprit is now. I'm tipping Norbs is involved, is he?
Surprisingly, no, not for this one.
Okay.
But he may have been one of the little birdies that started the rumour that got around.
Okay.
The guys are on a fight now to chase down Gunner with a 146.6, almost 0.3 of a second over Cuckoo. Brett S., our current leader, has dropped back to third, but Brett's challenge here is to finish in the top 15. He needs to he's got enough lead. As long as he scores points this evening, he should be safe.
So if Cuckoo wins, where does Brett have to finish in the top 15?
Yeah, I think there's 50 points up for grabs for first. And there's 35 points, I think, between the two. So, and there's points all the way down to 20th. I think Stu said that 15th and up will secure him the title. But as we know from Brett, he is very competitive himself. And it would have to be a disaster for Brett to finish that far down the rowing order. And guys, tonight is the last night for anyone to choose their favourite livery. You need to be a member of Gravel Trap Legends on their Discord.
So I just looked, and Brett is 18 points clear of Cuckoo.
Oh, Stu was not quite right with his calculations then, unless I might have to.
And 30 points in the race.
Might have to quickly drop back. It could have been my reading could have been off there. I was trying to do it while I was working today, so that could have been half my fault.
Right. I'm not sure what the difference is where 18 points will get him if he does drop back, but I guess Cuckoo's only real goal now is to win. And Brett's just got to try and finish within 18 points of him.
And then the other throw up, both Brett and Cuckoo are also fighting it out for the Targa as well. So Brett clearly on top of that. If he does have a disaster this evening, he'll still come home with the Targa. And they're also fighting for the title of the most fastest laps. I believe Brett S has 5, and Cuckoo might now have 4.
Interestingly enough, Tim, there's been 10 races so far and we've had 8 different winners. I think Petey's the only one with more than 1 win. He had 3, and the rest of them, I will be able to tell you in a sec who they are. Petey's had 3, Kiz has had 1, Brett has had 1, Esky, Gunn, No Frills, Travis Moan and Brad Luck have all had 1 as well.
And
There's a good chance tonight we could see another first-time winner.
Actually, Scar has been unlucky. He's been very competitive in these cars.
He has, yes.
The Bloody 9 is another one, has shown some pace on and off throughout the season in these cars. And we've seen in the wet that we don't normally see a safety car. The guys are very respectful in the wet. But 55 minutes is a long time around this circuit.
Yeah, I'm expecting a safety car. Oddly enough, these guys seem to race better when the track is either when there's more danger involved. They seem to concentrate more. It's usually when it's an easier track that we end up with the safety cars. But yeah, obviously the concentration levels are keeping them on their toes.
And there is a very high concentration level with this circuit. It's not only the elevation rises, ups and downs, it's also the slight change of camber coming in and out of the corners. Very traditional technical circuit with all the lumps and bumps of going up and down. I would actually put this circuit with being up near Bathurst as a concentration level. No concrete.
I don't know about you, Tim, but I find this particular part of the track to be absolutely awful. To me, it breaks up the rest of the track, which flows really nicely, but those 2 hairpins there, I would put them up there with turns 2 and 3 at the Nürburgring, the GP track, as the worst corners in sim racing. But that's just me.
But even coming through here is turns 13 to 14, easy to drift wide. The car naturally wants to drift out towards the outside of the track, so you feel comfortable doing that. But then you've got to gather the car to actually keep it on the black stuff because it wants to just keep drifting out of the grass.
Yeah, very easy to drop a wheel off on that curb coming onto it, especially given how crucial it is coming onto that front straight, getting a good run. It's very easy to drop a wheel off there. And if you've got someone right behind you, they're just going to blast past down the straight.
And you don't want to be dropping a wheel on the grass in the wet in these cars.
Definitely not.
Anything that's painted, anything that's green is a big no-no in the wet weather in these cars. So it is going to be a challenge. Now, for anyone watching the stream, I see Neil Haynes is with us this evening. Hey, Woody, how are you, mate? Great to have you aboard.
Hey, Neil. Hope you're feeling better.
We have done a small change to the chat. The guys were saying it was staying on the screen for too long, so we've done some settings to that. I haven't actually seen to see whether any of the chat has actually popped up in the stream. Do apologise if it's not popping up in our live stream. It may be that I've overcooked some of the settings, but hey, look, we're all here to learn things. So, guys, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the stream. Don't forget to jump in and tell us who you're barracking for. So, Neil's saying Gunnar and Brett swapping fastest time for the pole. Yes, they are. Brett now dropped back to 3rd. And he's also said, hope Jay Walker has a better race this week. Very unlucky to miss out on a top 10 last week. Very consistent, but again, with a wet track and 55 minutes worth of racing with 1 mandatory pit stop, it's going to be interesting. And you're going to have to stick around and stay with us to find out how this rolls out, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to follow the script.
Cuckoo's just managed to, he's still in 2nd, but he's just managed to pull the gap back from 2/10 down to 1/10. Brett still hasn't improved, but this could be a very, very close one tonight. And Gunn could be, he could be a bit of a spoiler here with this championship if he gets in the middle of these 2.
But the other interesting point here too, we take a look at the range from Kiz through to basically Dat Boy, less than half a second.
Yep.
Separating
Absolutely.
7 cars.
That midfield section from sort of 5th to 15th in this group has traditionally been very, very close.
And the whole season there has been outstanding battles going on right through to the top 26 drivers. It hasn't mattered where you finished or where you started on this grid or where you were on track. Most of the drivers have had outstanding battles going on. It's been a great series, and for anyone who hasn't driven the Formula Inter cars, highly recommend that you put it on your list of cars to drive.
So Brad's just managed to move himself up to 5th with that last lap. He was our previous race winner, I think.
Yes.
The reverse grid of the last race at Guapore. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
That's qualifying done. So anyone that's on their last lap might get a chance to improve, but it looks like it's going to be Gunn, Cuckoo and Brett for the top 3.
Rangi's still going to have to find a handful of pace if he wants to pick up, but Scar and No Frills currently still out on track. They look at that 2 1/100ths of a second for Scar to pick up a position or two, and only a couple of tenths for No Frills. So these guys will wind it right down at the moment, riding aboard with Cuckoo.
Yeah, I think he was the last one to get across the line before the checkered flag fell, so this one's going to have to be very important for him. Right on board with him, I think. Oh. Well, my audio's cutting out there, so maybe not.
We can go back behind if you want to sit on top, if you want to follow the line. We do apologise for
the roof camera?
Yep, on the roof camera. We do apologise for the audio dropout. That is a glitch with the broadcast suite. Yeah, I think it's the roof camera where it's dropping out. Try on board. No, they're all having a bit of a hissy fit. There we go.
Oh, I think he's backed out of
it
now. Obviously, he wasn't improving yet. So it looks like that's going to be the grid now. Gunn, Cuckoo, Brett, Travis, Rangy, Brad. Oh, and it's just this.
It'll come back up again. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. There we go, like magic.
Brad in 6th. We've got Kiz, Scar, No Frills, Esky, the Bloody 9. Dat Boy, Stu, Christopher Razor, Mark 860, Pix, Mac Attack, True 80, True 84, Smithy, Jay Walker, Bales McKenzie, and Max Power bringing up the rear.
Fantastic grid of 22 drivers. Now, the one grid place that we saw for a couple of those. Now, the quick chat, if we can have a quick look through here, making sure that all of the drivers actually have the grooved wet tyres. We did have Scar actually had
Everybody
a glitch.
Towards the front has?
Round 4, Scar had a glitch and he actually started on slicks and had to take a dive after the first lap of the race to get changed over.
Let's just see.
Trouble 9, that boy, yep, Stu, Pixel, Mark 860, Mac Attack, Chewy, Smithy, Jay Walker, Bales, and Max.
Well,
everyone.
That's the most disappointing. I would like to have seen someone have a crack at this with the dry tyres.
And the guys would be feeling a little bit of moist inside the cabin this evening. We'll be looking for a standing start, 55-minute race, plus 1 lap, and a mandatory pit stop for tyres. These vehicles are very easy on the fuel. They can do, I think they can actually run for nearly an hour and a half. So we're not expecting anyone, unless they're taking advantage of a low tank of fuel. I'm not too sure how much time that would add to refueling these cars. I never checked that out myself. So anyone in the chat knows how long it would take, jump in the chat and let us know. That'd be great. Everyone doing their last minute checks now before the white flag comes down for the Christmas tree to light up. There we are. And we are off and racing. Round 6 for Gravel Trap Legends on Monday night for Pro Series. This has been the full Brazilian Formula Inter season. And it is all on the wire. Gun at the moment coming down. Brett has slid all the way down to 4th position. He's currently our points leader. Looks like the guys have all made it through cleanly through turns 1, 2 and into turn 3. The spray is going to be absolutely atrocious for these drivers.
Yeah, great start from Gunn there. Brett, I think, got caught out a little bit, got out-braked by Travis into the first corner, so he's going to be, whether he's patient or not, just to sit there and be happy to collect the points and keep Cuckoo with inside, I don't know, but Cuckoo is no doubt going to do everything he can to get up to the front and try and get in front of Gunn.
Yes, the guys just need to be a little bit conscious now, settle into this race position and get a feel for how the car is handling under these current track conditions, although that looks like that sky is actually clearing up a little bit, Jason. We might see this weather clear out.
Yeah, I hope that that does before they have... actually, it would be great if there was a couple of different changes of the weather and they had to do more than one pit stop. That'd really throw the cat amongst the pigeons, especially if someone decides to come in early, as there's just a hint of a drying line. The slick tyres tend to do pretty well on a lightly wet track in this game, so we could see a few different strategies here.
There was the conversation about whether someone would take an early pit stop to try and get some clean air. We can see how difficult it would be sitting behind these cars with that amount of spray.
There we go. Brett going to have a go at third place here on Travis, see if he can outbrake him down into the first corner.
Yeah, easy got the draft down there. He should easily get this job done at the end of the pit lane. We've got one car diving into the pits at the back there.
Yeah, I think that's No Frills. He might have got some damage at the start there. Brett didn't manage to make it, but let's have a little look and see if we can see what's happened to No Frills. There's no visual damage there.
Now, No Frills could be gambling here. He could be taking the mandatory pit stop for tyres now, getting it over and done with.
No.
That's a bit of a mystery. We might have to wait until the end of the race to work out what happened there.
It was a very quick pit stop. I don't know whether you could change fuel or tyres in that time. So Brett's managed to get in front of Travis here, and they also have Rangy right on the back of them.
And there's another couple of great battles going on between Scar and Kiz as well on the back of this. And they've also got Esky and the Bloody Nine all banked up. So, as we mentioned earlier, there'll be fantastic battles going all around this track. And speaking of the track, Jason, would you be able to bring up the track map for us? It's disappeared off my screen.
Absolutely.
There we go. Thank you, mate. No commentators curse this evening. Fantastic. We didn't call anyone out last week, so we're going to hold that true to form. But we just saw running very wide. We just saw Brad
run a bit wide, so that was almost commentators curse. We weren't focusing on him, but he was in the shot. I'd prefer to think of it as just us capturing all the action rather than commentators curse.
Absolutely, but
great race directing. Let's go with that.
We spoke about that earlier, about getting a good drive out of turn 12 and onto 13, and just that little bit of contact with the ripple strip there was enough to wash the speed off, and that has cost him 5 positions. Or was he dropped back to 4th? So 4 positions.
Absolute cracker of a battle for this midfield section from 6th down to, where are we? All the way back almost to the midfield there.
So hanging on the back is 6 all the way through to 13th.
Is Esky making a move up the inside of Kiz? Didn't quite pull it off, but he'll no doubt... Oh, Kiz has run wide, so it looks like Esky's going to slip through now. But I think Kiz might actually now still be side by side. He might get the inside run at the next corner.
Yeah, 2 wide through here is probably a bit of a gamble. And we've also seen Esky jump up through there as well.
Is Brad trying to make the outside move at the moment? I think that's Brad, is it?
Yep, Brad.
Yeah, trying to have a go at that boy.
That looks like a safety car, is it?
Yeah, that definitely is, isn't it? I don't know
I'm seeing someone in the pits, but...
Max Power's in the pits.
And again, doesn't look like any damage to the car.
I can't see any visual damage.
That one
Whatever it was, it's been fixed quite quickly, so maybe it was just a small bit of damage to the front wing. Let's see where the guys are. So they're just coming back onto the front straight. So Max has got nearly a full lap to make up.
But again, this is the longest pit lane in history. You can see Max is still in the pit lane. He has not yet entered the track. He will not come back onto the track until he has cleared turn 3. Right there. So the pit lane, actually enter pit lane after turn 13 and you exit pit lane after turn 3. And the race director will be running this race at the moment, and they will be determining when they go. The guys are now all taking option for their mandatory pit stops at the back.
Yeah, we've got a couple that are going to try and do that. They're no doubt going to try and get to the end after this. So that'll be interesting. If it starts drying out, they might have... Let's see who's going in. Pix and Smithy have both gone in.
Still running under safety car. Have chosen to allow Max to get back onto the back of this pack. So if the track stays wet, that is a masterful move from both Smithy and Pixel. But the other question is, how long will the wet tyres last? We still have 47 minutes worth of racing plus 1 lap.
Yeah, that's a long way to go, especially traditionally wet tyres have been very soft, so if the rain even just dries up a little bit, just eases up, there's a good chance that they could overheat these and have to make another pit stop again anyway.
And the guys were making comment that there wasn't any issue with tyre life in a 25-minute sprint, but tyres generally around about 40 minutes is tyre life. On a hard tyre, maybe 50 minutes, but certainly after 40 minutes, the tyre life starts to degrade below that sort of 50%, and the car becomes very unfriendly to drive.
Christopher's been in the pits for quite a while, so I don't know whether he's got damage. That's certainly not just fuel and tyres.
Yes, Neil, mandatory pitting during yellow flag has been allowed. So there are no limitations for when they can choose to take their mandatory pit stop, as long as they change their tyres, which will be reviewed via the data at the end of the race. But there is a gamble. Looking at these skies and the weather is expected to clear, there is a chance that this rain will cease and the track will dry out.
Max is making his way back towards the back of the pack, so we might get a start this time, will we? He's not quite on the back, but look, they're bunched up, so I'd say that they're going to go again in a second.
I would say this is... that would be that Gunn has control of this race. And he will be the first one as soon as he jumps from the start-finish line. The rest of the cars can follow.
Max is only 3 seconds behind. If he times this right, he could just pass all of them while they're still getting sorted out. I'd love to see Max do that.
Absolutely, we all love Max. He's a great competitor, always a great character, always happy to be on track. And if you ever get stuck behind Max, he's very, very skillful at putting that car exactly where you don't want it. He's very, very difficult to overtake Max unless he chooses to give you space. He can really shut you down and lock you up. Always great fun battling out with Max.
A few cars off the road there. Taking the wide line.
There will be track cuts for this. There will be a little bit of a grievance for the wet track. It allows a little extra compassion, but they still can be quite punishing around the circuit.
Do we know how many track cuts there are for this evening?
I still believe even in the wet it's still 3.
Oh, that could be trouble later on in the race. I've seen plenty of cars off a couple of those corners.
And again, that's the grey area. There is some compassion in the wet. You can take a little bit more leniency, but some corners are still going to be quite severe. But Gunn has obviously got something on his setup. He has now got our 1 second margin over Cuckoo, who sits about half a second up on Brad S. So
McAtack just ran wide there, like we were talking about before, coming off that last corner, and he just got passed by No Frills, and now Stu's lining him up for a run into the first corner.
yeah, that's going to be critical for any of these drivers coming through and out of turn 12 and 13, keeping it on the black stuff. Anyone who gets out on that painted ripple strip is really going to wash off a lot of pace. But we've seen from the previous rounds, all the drivers are a lot more conscious in the wet. And we see McAtack making the move.
Oh, he's run wide there. It looks like both Stu and Jay Walker have got in front of him.
Yeah, McAtack running off there. Stu's now hunting down the back of Jay Walker. They're going to slide it 3 wide
Look
into
at
here.
this.
That is...
There's a great 6-car battle going on here. Stu with a pass. He's just made up 2 positions in the last few corners there. Great move, Stu. Oh, he looked like he was getting a little bit sideways there. We might have had the commentator's curse again on him.
That's the pleasure of Stu having a little bit of moisture after the beat.
He does like it moist.
He does. He's got those nads nice and moist now. He should be nice, quite comfortable in that car.
Going off his paint job, he's probably used his one hairy ball to pull off those overtaking manoeuvres. Oh, who's that in front there? Truey?
That's Truey, I think. Yep. Just backed off track to take a look at how the cars were coming up through there.
He's just been overtaken by Max there, so technically he's last. Oh, Christopher's still a fair way behind, but yep, bit of trouble for Truey.
Still 41 minutes to go. McAtack under attack here.
3 wide into the first corner.
Stu's
Mac
got
on Stu. Didn't quite get it done that time.
Mac just backed out there and gave Stu the racing line. Fairly tight through the centre S's. It's not my preferred place for an overtake, that's for sure.
Another one that we don't talk about much is Pix has actually made a bit of a jump up the grid recently. He got himself a proper direct drive wheel and a sim rig, and he's probably made up a good 5 or 6 or 7 positions over where he would normally run down towards the back of the pack. He's now dicing around this sort of pack with Mac and Stu in that sort of just on the rear end of that midfield. So there we go, he's just made a move on McAtack. So that, who says better equipment doesn't make you faster, Tim? I think we should all go and tell our wives.
Absolutely. My lovely wife has honoured me the wish of upgrading my T3 PA pedometer pedals. I'm actually moving to the BJ Steel pedals in a few weeks. Very excited to try a load cell pedal.
Yeah, they're hard to get used to, but they're fantastic once you do get used to them. Here we go, looks like Mac's going to have another look up the... No, didn't quite get the run on the inside of Pix here, but he'll definitely try and get a great run off this corner and see if he can blast past him down the straight. Let's see if he can... There you go, we'll go on board with Mac. See if he can get right in the slipstream without breaking into the first corner. Stu's just managed to pull away a little bit there too. He's put a couple of car links between the two of them while they fight.
Yeah, and I'm just... thinking Max too far back to get a slipstream advantage off of this. He's just going to have to bide his time for next lap.
Let's go on board with this battle up near the front. We've got Brad Luck, the Bloody Nine, Rangy. Oh, I think there was a bit of a touch there, was there?
There was a little bit of just a little bit of a tickle on the tyres there, enough to give a nudge to the front of the car and just push the car around. Not too much damage, still on the hunt here. Doesn't look like there's any issues with the front wing.
Brad's right on the tail of Cuckoo at the moment, so he'll be probably rather be in front of him, but I think he'll make sure that he keeps him in sight. And Gun's actually not that far up the road, so even though he had a little bit of an advantage at the start of the race, he hasn't actually been able to pull away from Cuckoo and Brad at the moment. Travis still hanging on just behind them there, so he can capitalise if these guys have any sort of issues.
Here's all the guys getting a little bit more respectful now, coming through turns 13. Not taking too much of that outside ripple strip.
Top three have all been within a tenth or two of each other on that last lap too. We're in a 49.5 and a 49.7.
Actually, also Scar with a 49.9, sitting in 9th place. But we see Brad Luck all the way down, everyone running from a 149 to up through a 150. Very, very close right through this table at the moment.
We've got Esky closing the gap on Kiz as well, so he'll be trying to make a move. The sister car to Stu's half-shaved machine. Let's see if we can get a run down here. It looks like he's going to have a go. No, he's not quite close enough. Yes, he is.
Oh, big dive under
try
brakes.
And make the move up the inside. Got him by a hair.
Absolutely. Now we need to put those two cars together. Did Esky shave the left-hand side and Stu shave his right?
That would be good if they could.
Running in tandem, you'd have to say.
They could put their two hairy balls together.
But both of them feeling very comfortable with the extra moisture around in the saddle for this race. One of the disadvantages of an open wheeler, not a lot of fun to drive in the wet.
Not sure what would be more uncomfortable, a wet hairy ball or a wet bald ball.
Shade or not, it's very, very uncomfortable sitting in these cars for 55 minutes in this weather. I never enjoyed driving a go-kart in the wet, even though it was a bucket load of fun.
Rhett's now making a move on Cuckoo. He's going to make him go around the outside. Let's see if he can outbrake him into the first corner. No, he backed off a touch. He's probably just going to try and tuck in and get a run down the next straight if he can. Gun's managed to pull out a little bit of a lead here now. He's got a 2-second gap over these two while they've been fighting.
Yeah, coming into the centre S's, it's all about getting your line through there to maximise your speed. Exiting the S's, you don't want to compromise that, so you basically bring yourself undone trying to fight coming into the braking zone at the end of the straight. Both of them
Cuckoo
running wide.
Very sideways coming through that corner there.
Both of these guys driving to the max with these cars. That's almost full noise in the dry. A very delicate lift off and deceleration there in the wet. But again, Gunner was almost a whole second faster that last lap.
Yeah, I think these two going side by side have slowed each other down. Travis has dropped off a bit though. He's still another 3 or so seconds off, so he hasn't been able to hold on to the back of these guys.
But Esky and the Bloody Nine are both showing good pace at the moment through this pack. So Esky jumped ahead of Kiz at the moment, and He's got the pace over the next 35 minutes. He could catch up that margin to Travis.
Here we go. Brett's going to have another go. Cuckoo's going to make him go to the outside again.
And defensive driving, obviously. Brett's playing the race here. He doesn't have to win this race. He doesn't have to take position to take out the title. Very, very smart driving at the moment. Just has to finish in the top 5 and he's comfortably won the championship. Gets to take home that fantastic trophy that she's posted up.
Good battle going in here between Dat, No Frills and Scar. Fighting for the inside, just inside the top 10. They'll be disappointed there's no reverse grid race today because they would have all started right near the front.
Dat boy in one of the favoured toucan liveries.
Let's go back and have a look at these two. It looks like they're still side by side. Brett's in front, but he's on the outside. He's not going to be able to do it around there. This battle's going on all over the place. I think we need a split screen. That'd be great.
Yes, you can see from the track map there are little battles going on in the clusters around this track. We've made that comment all the way through this season, Jason. It has been outstanding driving. These cars are a lot of fun to drive. And here for round 6, the pinnacle of the Formula Inter season at Interlagos. 55-minute race this evening, plus 1 lap with a mandatory pit stop for tyres. The question is, Jason, as the weather looks like the sky are clearing, are we going to see this rain disappear? Are we going to see this track dry up?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of hoping it does, but it hasn't gotten better and it hasn't gotten worse. So it would be good to see if there was a bit of a change there, maybe mix things up a bit. But these two guys won't be wishing that. They're having a good battle at the moment. Cuckoo's certainly not going to be hoping for any change. We just got a little bit sideways there going through that corner. I thought Brett might have been a bit closer to him that time coming onto the front straight, but he wasn't quite close enough there to capitalise on getting a slipstream, and probably not down this straight either. He's just dropped back about 3 or so tenths. Scar's now had to go into the pit. I'm not sure what for.
He could be taking
change.
Mandatory tyre swap. He's been showing some fantastic pace.
He was in that battle just before with Dat Boy and No Frills, so hopefully there wasn't any damage there.
He could be just making a decision to jump out, grab some tyres, grab some space. He's clearly got pace in this car. A little bit of free space on this track and he could make hay. And ahead of all the pit stops and the corrections throughout this race, he could actually gain 2 or 3 positions if he's coming out on fresh tyres.
Another great battle going on here between Esky, Kiz and the Bloody Nine.
And the Bloody Nine's just going to have to back out here on the outside, not the 3rd line. Kiz just shuts the door there. He just needs to hang on the back here if he can get the run onto the start-finish line. Coming down through Giancarlo. Gets in the slipstream here. It looks like Kiz may have just got the jump on him there. A little bit too far back to take advantage of the slipstream. We hope you're all enjoying the stream on this Monday night. Cue your Monday-itis with Gravel Trap Legends Pro Series. Now we'll be taking a break for the next few Mondays before we line up again for the next mini-series. And the Formula Vintage. Around some of the classic tracks from the 1970s. A little short 4-round series with a bonus 5th round using the Formula Retros. And if you like what you see and you want to get involved, then guys, jump onto Discord, become a member of Gravel Trap Legends. I'll put a link down in the comments after this video. These guys race on Monday nights for their Pro Series and Wednesday nights for Shakedown. Brad Luck at the moment having a race with his sister car. Brad and Rangi just getting some sponsorship bonus points here. Gravel Trap Legends run their Shakedown series on Wednesday nights. You don't have to be involved, you don't have to register, you can just show up on a Wednesday night. Running from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock, normally about an hour or so the races run, and they replicate the cars and the tracks that run for the Monday night season. It's a great way to get involved with the league, it's a great way to get out with Automobilista 2. Big shout out to Reza for their development and all the work that goes in. Outstanding graphics.
Good chance to practice for the next Monday night too. You see a lot of the guys jump in there mainly for the practice. Gives them a chance to learn what corners they can pass on, and tend to get a lot of the big names from this series also go in there and give it a little bit of a warm-up for the race. It looks like Brad might actually be within slipstream distance again here. He had a run on him down the front straight, but he wasn't quite able to get him, but he's poking the nose up the inside. No, not quite. Mark just ran a little bit wide there, so we've seen quite a lot of guys go off at that corner.
Yes, Interlagos, like all of the Brazilian tracks, a lot more technical than what they appear on the surface. Slight changes in camber. The car wants to drift wide. You've always trying to hold that car back on the grey stuff, stop it from drifting out on the ripple strips and over onto the grass.
Let's have a little look at this battle again. It looks like the Bloody Nine and Kiz are still fighting it out. Eski's just managed to hold that gap out the front a little bit, so he hasn't been threatened by these two that are fighting each other. That's not going to help them.
But
and let's see if Bloody Nine can get the slipstream this time. There hasn't been a huge amount of slipstreaming going on. It doesn't seem too powerful on these cars.
But we're just going to make a quick note here. Gunn now has almost a 6-second lead over Cuckoo and Brett. Still running the only car, well, still running the 149s. Travis managed to get a 149 that last lap. But Gunner is a full 1 second faster than Brett and Cuckoo at the moment. But if they're not careful, they're going to find that Travis is going to be right up onto the back, and it's going to become a three-way battle for second, third and fourth. But they hold a comfortable 10-second margin. Back to Eski, Kiz and the Bloody Nine that we're looking at now.
Let's see if he can go around the outside. He's certainly going to try. He's run wide. No, he's going to have to tuck back in again now.
There is no grip out there on that paint.
No Frills is just sitting there just behind him too. He's ranging up a little bit onto the back of these guys. So it could very easily be a full-way battle here. Let's have a little bit of a look at Stu and Mac are both having a little fight. So Max managed to get back in front of Stu there before. Stu was in front, but Max obviously snuck back through. Oh, very sideways for Mac there. A lot of these guys haven't yet made their pit stops either, and we're just over halfway through the race at the moment, so they're all going to have to try and decide when they come in to do their mandatory pit stop. Actually, speaking of that, Brett's just managed to, he's just pulled into the pits.
For anyone watching, we've just posted a link to the Discord in the chat for the video. That will stay active for the next 24 hours for anyone that wants to join the Gravel Trap Legends Discord.
Now let's see where Brett's going to come out, because this could have a big effect on where we're on the positions
Now,
towards the end. If he comes out behind some slower cars
this is what
and
we're
he
talking
manages
about.
to
But
get
we're
caught up.
talking about the length of this pit, so it's still in the pit lane, and
So
still
who's he going to come back out with?
he will come out. It looks like he was going to have Rangy behind him.
Yeah, he's managed to have a little bit of a gap here, so that might work out all right for him.
Uh, 24 minutes to go. It looks like this rain is getting a little lighter, but doesn't look like it's going to be easing up enough to allow for the track to dry out.
Still
So
a close five-way battle here for just outside. Who have we got? The Bloody Nine in third. We've got Keys, Esky, No Frills, and Travis. And not far behind is that boy. There he is.
So the next question is, when Cuckoo takes his mandatory pit stop, how close will he come out to Brett?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looks like No Frills is getting a run on Esky here. Let's see if he can manage to sneak up the inside of him into the first corner.
Because
Oh, he's already got him. I think Travis is going to try and have a go here too, maybe on both of them. He looked like he was going to try and sneak up the inside of No Frills. He could get both, two positions here. No, he's backed out of a little bit.
tried to do it around the outside into turn 2. Had to make the wise decision to back out. But Cuckoo with some free air now that he's not fighting with Brett S. A 150 flat. That's almost a full second faster than they were lapping when he was fighting it out with Brett S. Still a 6-second margin though over Gunn, who's had command of this race from lap 1.
Yeah, last lap a 149.3 for Gunn. Looks like Cuckoo was the next quickest on a 150 flat, and then the rest of the guys are in the 51s and 52s, it looks like. That boy did a 150.8. And apart from that, everybody's running... Oh no, Scar's just done a 149.9, so he's not far off the same pace that Gunn's got.
And Scar running on fresh tyres. The thing will be Brett S. What can he do on a fresh set of tyres after his outlap? Obviously a 2:08 was his pit stop lap.
And he's now ranging up onto the back of Brad Luck. There was a battle between Brad and Mark just before, so he's going to be coming right up on the back of those guys, so he's not going to want to get held up, so he'll be hoping that they pit soon.
Yeah, there will be a mixture of strategies at the moment. The guys will be calculating who has pitted and who's yet to take their pit stop.
Here we go, 3 wide down the front straight. Who's going to be the bravest and get into the first corner? Looks like No Frills might have won that battle.
And it looks like Esky sitting off the back of that pack going, I want a piece of this as well.
Something's happened to Gunn here. Or is there a safety car maybe? The gap just suddenly closed up, so I think we might have a safety car.
Look at the pace those drivers are going. That is a safety car, but we can't see a car off track to determine what the cause was.
No, I haven't seen any cars dropping positions, so I don't know what's going on there.
There was no conversation at the start of this race about a mandatory yellow flag, which they have been known to use in races as a cautionary.
No one's pitted, so there's nothing obvious has gone on.
Someone just pulled into the pits now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there was any damage involved.
No, that was Smithy.
That looks
Oh,
like...
he's just pulling out of the pits, is he?
So, one car
sorry, there we
behind, one going in, one going in.
So he looks like he's got quite a bit of right hand down, so he might have been the one involved in the incident there.
There we go, corrected that. Thank you very much.
Can't see any visual damage.
So the question now, how many of these guys are going to take advantage of this? There could be a big string of cars entering pit lane on this lap to take advantage of the safety car pace.
Definitely be the smart move. As I say, they're probably going to wait for Smithy to come around and catch up again, so I would say that they would all be coming into the pits this time, except for the guys who pitted earlier, but even they might want to do it, given that their tyres might be a little bit worse for wear.
Yes, anyone who hasn't pitted,
let's see if Gun comes.
They've been out there for 40 odd minutes now on these tyres.
So let's see if there's a flurry of pit stops.
No.
No, it looks like a lot of them are going past the pits. That's strange. Might be a couple of cars back there, is there? That. Yeah, there's a couple that have ducked in, so it looks like
Brad Luck.
Brad, Mark.
Both the piranhas. We've got Stu, Mac. And is that...
And Pix, I think, has also come into the pits. Yep. No, Pix is still out. Yeah, we've got a lot of them have come into the pits now. This could definitely benefit some of these guys.
So, looking at our order at the moment, Gunner, Cuckoo, No Frills. Has the Bloody Nine pitted? I don't think he has. Kiz, Eski, Travis. So, it looks like our top 8 are yet to take their mandatory pit stop. Brett S would be the first car in that train who has completed the mandatory requirements.
This is absolutely going to benefit Brett.
Yes, you're right, correct.
Exactly what he needed was a safety car to catch up to the back, and then those guys not pitting could definitely be costly.
And Neil Haynes has jumped in and said this is going to be devastating for the leaders. You are correct. We would expect from here, Brett S is in the current best position in this race. His tyres are only 3 or 4 laps old, so he's got a good set of new wet weather tyres on that car. He will be well poised to take out this race from where he is at this stage. The early concerns about whether this rain was going to clear off and the track was going to dry have basically gone with the wind.
I wonder if that's what some of the guys at the front are doing, if they're going to wait and see if this clears up and take the risk and see if they can put some slick tyres on.
16 minutes to go. There is a lot of water laying on this track. Even if the weather started to clear up now, it would be a very, very big gamble.
Yeah, I think they might have missed their opportunity to jump into the pits there.
And Norbs has jumped in. I'm not too sure. Dat looks like you. I'm not too sure what that is.
Yeah, that's our greeting that we say to each other. Dat look like you, and Dat look like you too. There's a story behind that, but we won't say it now.
For another day.
I'll tell you privately, Tim.
Okay.
It's not the most politically correct thing in the world, so we'll keep that one off stream. Here we go. So it looks like they're going to go for a restart again now. Where is Brett? Brett's in 9th. Still not sure why those guys haven't made their pit stop, but this is definitely going to make things interesting in the last 15 minutes. And it looks like Guns just put his foot down, he's away. Kind of got Cuckoo sleeping a little bit there.
Looks like Mac Attack may have done a dive into the pits there. I'm not too sure.
Yep, probably a lap too late. Oh no, he came in last lap, didn't he?
Dat boy, sorry.
Oh, that boy.
Yep.
It's hard to tell with these team cars.
Top 7 drivers are yet to take their mandatory pit stop. Brett S at the moment sitting front and centre to take this race out under these conditions, having completed his mandatory stop for tyres. Scar has done a fantastic pit stop strategy too. We know he's done his pit stop early in the race to get some free air. He's doing well to sit on the back of Brett S. He could be up for a podium in this race. It would be a fantastic finish for him. Jay Walker has also completed his mandatory pit stop, along with Mac Attack, Mark 860, Pixel Boy and Rangy. We could see Jay Walker finally get that top 10 finish that he's been hanging out for this season.
Gayeski making a move on Kiz here. Used his one big ball in the wet there through that fast corner. His one big hairy ball.
And for the guys watching the stream,
No,
we
looks
hope
like
you're
we might have
enjoying it.
another. I think we might
That's
have another safety car here, Tim.
But again, looking at the track map, I'm yet to see a car that has gone off the track.
Yeah, I can't see any positions that have changed drastically anyway.
This will roll into the hands, so the top drivers can choose now to make their mandatory pit stop. They can take their pit stop under a yellow flag. We'll see if the guys hang to the left-hand side here. And it looks like they are holding a line.
No, they're away again.
All right, that could be a falsified start from last lap, maybe. Someone might have called a false start.
The guys at the back don't look like they were going very fast, and these guys look like they're only just starting to put their foot down, so I don't know what's going on there.
No overtaking before they cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been a little bit of a gap, but maybe not. Looked like the guys at the front got away well and truly before everybody else.
And obviously if one car misses it, you have to stay behind the car in front of you until you pass that start-finish line. So you're pretty well stuck if someone misses that jump.
Gayeski thought he was going to get his big hairy ball out again then, make another move on the bloody 9, but not this time. He did it last time on Kiz down at this corner up here. He managed to sneak up the inside. We'll see if he can do it again.
Although Bloody 9 is a very handy driver.
Here we go. He's doing the exact same
maneuver. A little bit, but Bloody 9, if he can hang on around the outside here. Nope, gets it a little bit loose.
Sideways.
Or gets back down the inside. And again, guys doing a fantastic job to give each other racing room through there. And again, offside here, going to go around the outside.
So this is on board with Kiz now, watching those two side by side still.
Traction out there. The worst section of any racetrack you can think of. These guys have just done it too wide. Uh-oh. Big tank slapper there.
So the Bloody 9's going to lose quite a few positions here. That was the worst spot to go off the track. Travis has now got in front of him as well, and looks like Brett's going to have a dip up the inside, so Brett's going to make another position here, up into 7th. Look at the spray, Tim. I don't think that weather's getting better at all.
Not with 10, well, just now, just under 11 minutes to go in this race. Even if the clouds parted and the skies cleared, this track would remain wet for the duration of this race.
Eski's using his big hairy ball again around the outside of Kiz there. The 3 at the front are still maintaining reasonable position, no change there. But we've got 2 wide in front and back, have we? Kiz having another dip up the inside. Eski's running wide. Kiz is looking, there we go, he's out wide. Kiz is going to sneak through. It looks like Brett's going to try and sneak through too. He's up to 6th at the moment, so he's just made 2 positions. Actually, Brett's now up to 5th, so let's see if he can stay on the outside of Eski here, which he's managed to do. So that was a brave move, given he's going for the championship, that he would want to be racing fairly conservatively. But he's just about made all the positions back up that he lost during that pit stop. So he was in 3rd at the time, he's now in 5th. We're still waiting for those front guys to pit.
And if he gets a solid drive onto this last few corners, he can take the slipstream advantage on Kiz. Slide back up into 4th position.
Now, I don't know about you, Tim, but it looks to me like there's more spray now than there was earlier. Mid-race, it almost looked like it was starting to dry out just a touch. There wasn't quite as much spray, but it's definitely no better than it was at the start of the race.
The rain looks like it's heavier. There's certainly more standing water on the track now. Very uncomfortable for the drivers.
Here we go. It looks like Eski's just come into the pits to make his compulsory stop, and a lot of them behind him as well.
Yes, they've played their wild card and it hasn't paid off. 9 minutes to go. There is no chance this track is going to dry out from here. It is down to the wire now for these guys. Gunn, 1.2 second margin over Cuckoo, but both drivers, along with No Frills and Kiz, have to take their mandatory pit stop. Brett S at the moment sits well positioned in this race. Scar unfortunately got himself a little bit loose coming through turns 12. He's dropped back a few positions, but still has good pace in that car. He can climb back up onto the back of Christopher. And just looking at the pace of these cars, the conditions have obviously worsened on this track, as we can see. The guys are really struggling at the moment. Even the fastest guys on track struggling to get into a 149 now.
Yeah, they've all dropped about a second or two. The last lap, the top 3 guys are all in the 150s, which is a good second off what they were doing earlier. They were in the 149s when the track was a bit drier.
Even now, for our vision from trackside, the amount of spray coming off of these cars is atrocious.
Let's see briefly what it looks like from on board from Brett's car.
Yeah, just moving up to the left-hand side there to try and get out of that spray.
It's still not quite in the slipstream. So he's probably not going to be able to have a look up the inside here.
Yeah, Norms has made comment about why the leaders have not pitted on a safety car. We can't answer that.
We don't know either. We've only got 7 minutes remaining. They do have a 7-second lead over Kiz, but that's definitely... those guys could well and truly drop outside the top 10, possibly the top 15.
But it is well over, it's almost around 70 seconds for his pit stop because of the length of the pit lane.
Do we know what the speed limit is at this track for the pits?
60.
Oh, God. That'd be painful. Longest pit lane and 60. In the Pro cars, Stu had it set to 150, which made... on some tracks, it was almost quicker to go through the pits.
Unfortunately, most guys found trying to stop for your pit box at 150.
Yeah, at 150. I think we saw DDF did that, didn't we? At this very track, he come in, his pit box was at the start of the pit lane, and he overshot because he come in too fast. So, looks like Bales is into the pits now for his compulsory pit stop, and Smithy is back in. He was in before too, so I don't know what he's doing in there at the moment.
That could have been a misfortunate event to fix some repairs for that car, unfortunately. But running on the back of Brett S at the moment, right up on the back of Kiz now. Has he got enough drive coming out of turn 12 to take advantage of the slipstream?
Slightly better run that time than the last couple of laps.
Still doesn't appear that anyone can take too much of advantage through there. Yes, no more
so Gunn has now pitted. Cuckoo has taken over the lead. Interesting to see where Gunn comes out.
The other talking point is there are no safety cars for the last 5 minutes of this race. So with 14 seconds left to go before the safety car is retired from season for the Formula Inters. Brett S at the moment.
That's a real shame for Gunn. He got pole position, led the entire race up until now. Let's see, he's just coming out back onto the track now. Let's see where he falls in. He's in 12th at the moment. Now, he's got a handy gap to Pix, but he's still got quite a few guys he's got to try and get in front of him. With 4.5 minutes to go, I don't think he's going to make up too many positions.
The question is, who is going to take out the title for the Targa? There are a number of guys within half a second of each other in the count. And it is quite tight for who would have been able to take out the fastest lap for this race. 149.3, I think, was Gunn, or 149.2 earlier in the race. Is that going to be enough for him to be able to take home the Tim Tams for the Targa?
Looks like he's got quite a shallow run through that last corner, and Brett was nice and wide, carried quite a bit of speed through there, so he might just get up into the slipstream here and see if he can sneak up the inside. He's got to also play defensive now. Oh, here we go. So Kiz has just come into the pits. Cuckoo and No Frills still haven't pitted yet, so they're probably going to make it. They're probably going to go right to the end and see if they. Yeah, I really don't know what their plan is, but it certainly hasn't benefited them. Guns dropped back to 12th, so that really didn't benefit him at all, although he has just passed Stu. Just got him down the front straight. Kiz has now just dropped back behind, considering he was in... No, he was running in the top 4 or 5, wasn't he, before that?
Kiz is in the... Kiz did his... He's dropped right back.
Esky.
Has...
Yeah, he was fighting with Esky in the bloody 9 before, so...
he could be coming through pit lane, is he? He's coming out of pits now.
Yeah,
yep.
He's dropped quite a few positions.
He's been through the pit lane.
Yep. Yeah, but I think he's dropped a little bit further back. He was right with the bloody 9 and Esky before, but pitting later has actually dropped him back a little bit further off that pack.
Yeah, so he sits about a second and a half off the back of bloody 9.
Let's see, coming through this next lap, they've only got probably another lap or 2 to go before they have to pit. So let's see if Cuckoo and No Frills manage to pit this time.
Well, they are running out of time. They only have 2 more laps to make their compulsory pit stop.
And again, they're not going into the pits.
I'm not too sure what strategy these 2 drivers are playing at the moment. Because we can see it's a full push to stop. So it's a... These guys would come.
To go now.
These guys would come out behind Stu. These guys would basically come out behind Stu if they pitted.
Yep. Now, if they don't pit this lap, I don't know what the penalty is for not
disqualification.
Time added on. Disqualification.
Disqualification.
So, considering Cuckoo's running second in the championship, that's probably not the greatest thing we could have done.
So as we look at this leaderboard at the moment, Brett S is currently our leader of the race based on pit stops. Rangi sitting in second with Scar rounding out our top 3. Macatak currently sitting at 5th.
Who's third in the championship at the moment, Tim? I'm just wondering if Cuckoo gets disqualified for not pitting. Could third place potentially sneak up?
Just give me a quick look. The leaderboard, so Cuckoo was second with 261 and Kiz was third with 2. There was 30 points between them.
Okay, so he probably won't be able to make up the position now. So they've really only got, there's only 20 seconds to go now, so if they don't pit this lap...
Cuckoo and Kiz are going to finish around. If he doesn't pit, he's not going to get any points at all. That would...
No, oh, it looks like Cuckoo's just pitting now.
Yeah, if Cuckoo failed to pit, that would have thrown away his chance. He should finish now second. But the other question is the Targa, because Cuckoo had 0.2 of a second margin over Travis.
question, Tim. Did No Frills pit very, very early in the race? We saw a couple of guys when there was... I've just got this feeling that he may have pitted in the first couple of laps. I could be wrong, but it would explain why he's still continuing on.
True.
If he did, that's a masterstroke.
Regardless of that, at the moment, we can confirm, coming down to our last laps, Brett S will take out the title for the Formula Inter season. He had a commanding lead. He only had to finish in the top 15, theoretically, to win the title. And it's hard with Rangi and No Frills in the same livery. It's hard to make the decision on who actually took the pit stop.
Yeah, exactly. So if No Frills does manage to win this one, he will be the only repeat winner apart from Petey, because he won the reverse grid race at Santa Cruz.
Yes.
So time's over. Do we get one more lap, Tim, after...
I believe
think
it was
don't we?
55 plus 1. And we must be correct. He must have taken an early pit stop. So, correction to that.
So he'll be heading off on his last lap now.
So, No Frills is the leader of this race. We do apologise for that. Little correction, we didn't have the count for the pit stop earlier in the race.
Well, we'll chat to him soon after the race and we'll be able to find out. But yeah, I've just got this vague feeling that he may have pitted very, very early on and then benefited from the safety cars.
Norbs is saying, yeah, it's a horrible pit stop through here. He had a pit bay right on the line. And he spent more time in the pits, driving through the pits than he did anywhere else.
Still a couple of battles for position on this last lap. It looks like we've got Cuckoo's under attack from Mack and Gunn. So Gunn will be trying to make his way back through. He'll be very disappointed with himself. Oh, he's run very wide there. But he'll be very upset that he's got pole position, led the entire race up until that pit stop, and then bottled it by not pitting on time. And I think we've had, what, 2 or 3 safety cars, so there was ample time for him to pit.
That was the gamble that the track was going to dry out. It was a gamble that didn't pay off.
We've got No Frills now coming out of the last corner. He's going to take the last race of the season. Brett is going to finish second and take out the championship.
And Rangi and Scar, fantastic drive from both of those drivers.
So there we go, across the line. No Frills wins from Brett. And Rangi, Scar, well, these guys haven't quite finished yet, but it looks like it'll be Christopher Razor, Dat Boy. See if Cuckoo's got anyone right behind him. No, he might cross the line. 7th position and 2nd in the championship. Then we've got Mac, Gunn, Mark 86B.
Fantastic drive from Stu.
Here we go, Stu's going to race Mark to the line. Didn't quite get him.
Missed out by hair. Should have shaved the right-hand side.
Here we go, the last lap. We got the Bloody Nine and Brad Luck fighting to the end as well. I think they might have just had a pass for position, or they were certainly side by side.
I don't know you're Jason, but this has been an absolute blast to commentate this season.
Absolutely.
Racing
Great
has
series.
been fantastic. The cars have been nose to tail all the way through, battles going all around the track on every round. It's been fantastic to watch. I hope everyone watching the stream has enjoyed it. We've certainly...
Talking privately to all the guys too, everybody has absolutely loved these cars.
Yeah, there's a few guys coming to this season going, oh, I'm not really big on the open wheelers, I don't really like this. The Formula Inters It's a manual gearbox. You do have to clutch the gears on this. You can do a bit of a gate shift, but to get pace out of these cars, you do have to blip through your gears. That compression back down into second gear is a killer. Easy to throw these cars around. So here we can confirm through this, all ticking off the pit stops as we quickly look down through the leader. Everyone took a pit stop, few with 2 or 3. So no frills taking it out over Brett S, Scar, Rangy, Krista Razor, Cuckoo, Mac Attack, Gunner, Mark 860, Stu, and Dat Boy. And my mouse decides not to work. Esky Man, Kiz, Brad Luck, Travis Bone, The Bloody Nine, Jay Walker, Max Power, Pixel Boy Smithy, and Bales McKenzie rounding out our 21. And we lost 1 car because we started with 22. Big shout out for Max Power again, up into the top 20. Fantastic, Max. Great effort from you, mate. Let's just see who had the fastest lap of the race.
I think it was Gunn. He had a 1:49.2, and I think No Frills had the second fastest lap of 49.4.
Yep.
So he a bit of a master stroke there, doing his pit stop early. We must have missed that because he definitely did a pit stop. But yeah, real good thinking there.
So
Smithy had to do 3 pit stops.
How did Cuckoo and Travis go? Because Cuckoo was sitting on top, so we have to take a quick look. Cuckoo with a 149.5. And if my mouse will work for me, how close was that to Travis? 149.9. So Cuckoo will take out the Targa. Brett S will take out the title for the Formula Inter. Fantastic racing by everybody. Absolutely loved it this evening. While we just get ourselves organised here, we'll take a quick look at what's coming up next. There has been a quick change in the schedule, and the next series will be kicking off on the 28th of June or the 26th of June. It'll be the Formula Historic Racing Cars, or the Formula Junior. It'll be a quick 4-round season with the bonus 5th round on 24th of July at Kyalami. And that will be the Retro G1 for the final round. I did take the Formula Juniors out for a run on the weekend. Absolutely loved it going around Silverstone. It's going to be a fantastic season. Guys, let's see if we can... grab our winner from the race. I'm going to actually ask if you can drag the winner down. Jokes, I've had nothing but troubles with my Discord, and my mouse is not working properly. So if you would like to drag the winner down for a chat.
I can figure out how to do it. I can't click on him and drag him.
I've got the same issue. All right.
I can't do it.
All right. It looks like we're having a moment there. Guys, we do apologise for that. We hope you enjoyed the stream. We've loved having you guys with us this evening. Max Power, thank you very much. We loved bringing it to you as much as you guys enjoyed it. And Churi, yourself, been absolute blast bringing all this to you guys live every Monday night. And we look forward to the next season coming up in a few weeks. We'll take a quick breather. Jason, thank you for jumping in and giving us a hand.
No worries. I've just spoke to No Frills and asked if he could jump into our chat. So here we go. Here he is. Our race winner.
Oh, good to see you again.
You're the only, the second repeat winner. You had that reverse
is that
race
right?
win. Yeah, you had the reverse race win at Santa Cruz, and now you won fair and square on this one, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. We should do all races in the rain, I think.
Yeah. We actually missed your pit stop early on. We thought that with you following Cuckoo late in the race that you might have both missed your opportunity to do a pit stop. You snuck one in early on there. That was a bit of a masterstroke.
Yeah, I took a risk and I thought, you know what, stuff this. I'm going to pit on the very first lap because I wasn't worried about tyre wear. So I thought if I can get myself some free track, get out of some traffic, by the time all the pit cycles happen, I might be in a decent spot. But then the safety cars helped me even more so. I was a bit surprised that not many pitted during the safety cars. So
Yeah, we were surprised about that too. We kept thinking that everybody would flood into the pits, but
yeah, so did I.
A great lead. He
Yeah.
had about a 6-7 second lead, and he lost it unfortunately. by
Yeah,
a
and
bit.
that's the only reason I ended up where I did, I think, is because my intuition was correct, I guess.
Yeah, no, the thinking man's racer.
Yeah, I don't think I
you
had the
beat,
outright pace. I just thought, okay, well, I'm not as quick as Gunnar and Brett and those
Well,
guys.
you actually had the second fastest lap time. You did a 49.4, and Gunn had the fastest lap time, 49.2. So you were
wow.
right up there.
There you go. So, yeah, I just can't qualify.
Yeah.
I started in 10th or something, but
Oh, who needs it when you can come through and finish first anyway?
see, these are why I love the longer races.
Exactly.
Funky pit strategy.
Yeah, so I would have thought that you'd love the reverse grid race after you won the last one, but no, you managed to pull it through on the longer 55-minute race, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was good fun again.
And you don't sound like Kermit.
Well, I promise I won't listen back to it because my wife's still making fun of me.
No, you don't sound like... You might have the green colour in your avatar, but no, you don't sound like Kermit.
All right. Well, it means a lot coming from you guys.
And a lot to look forward to for yourself. We have got some endurance racing coming up in the next few seasons, so very look forward to August with the prototypes and the 90-minute races. That should be very exciting.
Looking forward to it. Always a fan of endurance racing, so that should be good fun.
So when we can't drag anybody into the chat at the moment. When you jump back out, can you see if Brett can jump in? We'll congratulate him on his championship victory.
Yep, no worries. I'll get him.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So I would say this has brought some of the biggest highlights for my duration of broadcasting with Gravel Trap Legends. The level of racing in this last season for the Formula Inter being absolutely outstanding. Got to make a few shout outs to all of the admin from Gravel Trap Legends who bring this to life every week. Give us the opportunity to get out on track and have a scrap around, and also allow us the opportunity to come here and dribble some crap and bring this live to you on Monday nights. Fantastic.
And it looks like we've got our championship winner here, Brett. Oh, no, he's just disappeared at the same time. Didn't want to talk to us. I don't know where he went.
It disappeared completely, so...
He's off to spray the champagne.
Absolutely. Yep, disappeared completely. So I think he's had a technical issue with that.
The groupies have shown up already.
Not much we can do. Stu has put it up, just confirming that Brett takes out the title with Kuku in second place, Kiz took third, and Dat Boy in fourth. Very
Absolutely brilliant championship, this one. Probably my favourite championship so far, I think, and I didn't even compete in it.
But that's the quality of racing, I think, has set this one apart. It's been absolutely outstanding. And who would have thought it? Open Wheelers bringing some of the best racing we've seen so far in the seasons for 2023, and we've got a lot more coming. The next short season is an Open Wheelers, so we get to, and a lot more challenging. Well, actually a lot more competitive. There's not a lot you can change with the Formula Juniors. They're pretty well set and forget. It's all about learning to drive them to get the maximum amount of pace out of them.
And before we go, Tim, I've got to give a special shout out to Mac Attack for making up 10 positions in that race. So well done, Mac. And he was also no, he didn't send me that to tell him to give him a shout out, but he did. But we'll pretend it was his mum. Very proud mum.
But Mac Attack having a great season back. He took some time off with the birth of a new addition to the family. Great to have him back on track. Great to see him doing well behind the wheel. Always had some great battles with Mac Attack and all of the guys in Gravel Trap Legends. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to bring your broadcasts alive every week. We look forward to doing it for the next season. But looks like that is it. We can't find where Brett has disappeared to. So, Jason, thank you for jumping on and helping us out. We'll confirm.
No problems at all. It's been great fun.
We'll confirm whether Neil is available for next week. We'll see. We'll get something sorted out for that one. But guys, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the show. Until next